Hello dogs, Lildawg right here right now. Welcome back to Age of Civilizations 2. I've decided to have like a different video today. I've decided to have a time lapse with commentary over it, mostly because this is probably one of the most this felt like one of the most difficult Age of Civilization 2 scenarios I have played in recent times. Basically, if you don't know what this scenario is, it's the American Civil War scenario, and I played as the Confederates. Yeah, I did. As you can see, the Union is no longer here anymore because I fought 2 wars with them and I completely defeated them. So let's go through the time lapse. It'll say defeat, but I've actually won. Now, let's pause here. As you can see, I'm taking over the neutral territories right off the bat. I took it all over before the Union could. This is important because, interestingly enough, the Civil War does not kick off right off the bat. In fact, I believe, yeah, it just kicked off right there. It kicks off in a 1863 is when it kicks off. I believe it kicks off pretty early on in 1863. So I had about 2 years to build up. I've decided to build up Florida with a bunch of workshops just to get that little bit of extra money and also begin assimilating the territories I just took. So my strategy is like this. I left the smaller of my forces over here, and I put my bigger force over here in California. I wanted to take out California and Oregon as quick as possible, mostly because I did not want to deal with a 2-front war. And you'll see that here in a minute. Like, as soon as the war kicks off, I immediately blast California. Like, instantly, I go into California and I take that out. In fact, California becomes my primary focus. Alright, so the war began, and the Union had a surprising amount of soldiers up here. And another interesting fact is they did not defend California at all, so I believe I gained about 2,000 gold alone from California to help with the war effort, which was amazing. And so as you can see here, I tried to push up in here. It did not really work out too well because they had like a 7,000 stack up here, which will take like several turns to wipe out because I have a smaller force over here. My bigger force is over here, moving into California, and I think by the time the bigger force comes back to the front lines over here, I've already won the war. So here I'm having very successful pushes here in like Kansas and Missouri and stuff. I'm having like very successful pushes, and as you can see, my capital is here instead of over here in Montgomery like it starts off. The capital should be up here in, like, Richmond, but for some reason he put it in Montgomery. But I moved it here just so my nation can be centralized around the capital, and I won't have to pay as much for administration. That's why I put it here in Tyler. And so, as you can see here, moving further into California, this is when the 7,000 stack appeared and began spreading out. I have a lot of forces here, and I'm trying my best to snuff it out. And as you can see, it works out pretty well. Go a few turns. As you can see, I wouldn't blame you if at this point you thought I was going to lose. Because in all honesty, I thought I was going to lose too. The fall of California is imminent. I literally encountered no resistance. As you can see, I'm beginning to snuff out that 7,000, and this is, I believe, I conquer all of Wisconsin and northern Michigan before they start finally pushing me back over here. And then, of course, California has been conquered, which means my main force has begun coming back, which, by the time they do come back, the war is over. As you can see, the 7,000 down here is getting snuffed out, and I believe this is where I began to get pushed back over here. My main force is, like, right here, and then I take back this area. Like, my smaller forces pretty much dealt with this whole area. And as you can see... Oh, yep, there's the pushback. And then, of course, I began aggressively pushing up north because my smaller... At this point, I took some loans so I could pretty much end the war much more quickly. And at this point, the Civil War is pretty much over. Like, I've won it at this point. And then the peace deal, boom. As you can see, I took over all of California, because that's where most of my money was coming from. And I took the largest truce possible in the game, which is about 75 turns. I took the largest truce mostly because I wanted to assimilate my provinces before finishing off the Union. Then I've decided to move my capital to Washington at this point, which it'll move over there in a moment. It should. Oh right, I'm assimilating and then I'm moving it to Washington. And... should move to Washington at some point. Let's make this a little bit faster. Let's head into the next war, most likely. The truce ends in 1869, if I remember correctly. Interesting. It's not showing my capital being moved. Okay, there it is. So I believe the next war kicks off in 1870. So the second Civil War... Yep, the second Civil War just kicked off. The Union at this point is not a threat. For some reason, their capital's up here. I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't decide to go for, like, I don't know, Boston. But this war wasn't as much of a chore as the last Civil War was. Like, this was easy. This was just a cleanup. Interestingly enough, the Union still fought back quite hard. Like, I still lost a lot of soldiers in this war. And then... boom! And the Civil War is over at this point. I've won. I've won the scenario. $215 territories, income of 25,000. And then I can show you my stats at this point. Population score of 65, economic score of 72, and prestige score of 71, which gives me a total score of 207. My capital is, of course, in Washington. And I put all my buildings and stuff down here in the south. As you can see, all my buildings and stuff are down here, like furthest south as I could get it. The north, it looks like they went for a similar approach, but yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's my playthrough of the American Civil War as the Confederate States. This is a pretty challenging scenario in my opinion, because the Confederates start off as number 2. They start off as the weaker of the two. The only reason I won was because I had time to prepare a strategy and everything. Like, I just took out California and everything, and that was that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Bye-bye.